Hi, this is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm at Search Engine Strategies in London with Bryan Eisenberg. And Bryan, we've been chatting about people bouncing off of websites. They come and then immediately, bam, they're gone. Tell me about this, how we can improve the stickiness of a site.
You know, there's a couple of things that go on, but let's start with the first thing that we know about online media. It's all about relevance. One of the key things that we see people bouncing off of, and mind you, people online have, it's not attention deficit disorder, it's attention deficit disorder magnified, you know, like like a beagle with, you know, a bionic nose.
Okay.
Right? Very short attention span. One of the first things we see happening where relevance breaks, so let's assume I go do a search for low-cost car rentals. And I type in low-cost car rentals, and I go ahead and I land on a website, and I look around, and I don't see those words, low-cost car rentals. And whenever I get that disconnect from what I searched for and what I landed on, I disappear. So there's an immediate way for people to bounce off. Or I do this, another example. Jared Spool, who runs Great Usability Lab, User Interface Engineering, did a study called the Lincoln Study. And he said when he found that people were, he interviewed people, found out what they were looking for, and then put them in front of the websites. And so he used this example with Edmunds.com. He said when people were looking for used cars, they'd click on the used car link. If they were looking for a new SUV, they'd look for new, and then they see SUV, and they click on that. If they're using for pricing with options, they'd click on that. What he found interesting was, first, all those links took people to the exact same place. But what he found was when those trigger words, that thing that they were thinking about in their head, that they wanted to find, could be that keyword, could be from an ad, could be whatever it is. If they found it on their landing page, they were successful 72% of the time. If they didn't find that trigger word, as he calls it, they were on the page, they were only successful 6% of the time.
Whoa, that's huge.
But a lot of people have learned best practice, right? Take the keyword, that they search for, and put it on the landing page.
Which can be done with a little bit of programming.
With a little bit of programming, and that's an easy way. You can also do it with imagery and all kinds of things. So there's a lot of ways to tie things. So if you're doing a banner ad, you want the imagery on the banner ad looking similar to the imagery on the landing page. Again, how you can visually and with words connect the two experiences. That's part of it. First step.
Okay.
Next step is, okay, you got the sent from first click to next click. If those are disconnected, I leave.
And you use the word sent.
Sent.
Well,
sent.
Tell me what sent is.
So sent was a term first described by Xerox PARC. They had a huge research center back in the early 90s, talking about how people navigate in an online environment, which essentially they're literally like animals foraging in the forest, which is we start in a hub and spoke model. We smell something, we start at our core, we run out to look for it. If we don't find it, we come back to the core, then we run out again, we come back. And if you think about behavior, you go to Google, you type something in, didn't find the first site, you go back to Google, you click on, right, and so it's a very similar pattern. He said, it literally,
like taking a dog for a walk.
It's exactly like taking a dog for a walk. And if you think about it, literally from like a beagle's perspective, right? A beagle catches lots of scent. They're very difficult to train animals, even though they won Westminster this year. They got a lot of extra beagles. But they're actually very hard to train because they get so distracted by little scents because they're so sensitive. Well, online, people are exactly like that, and we look for the continued relevance. I mean, have you ever done a search and you didn't find what the words you were looking for on the page, and you went back, and then you clicked the Google's cache to see if it highlighted it? Google highlights a scent for you if it actually had it. So that's a really convenient way. But that scent only takes you part of the way. So you can make people stick better by giving them the scent from keyword to landing page or banner landing page.
Okay, so the scent then is the reason they came to the site, the thing they're looking for. So if they smell it,
what they're
sniff
tracking,
it, in search, and you carry it to the landing page, okay, you've carried them the scent there. Now what's the next step?
Then they get there and they're saying, okay, what's their next question? Right, and I think this is part of where things break apart for people. It's like, okay, yeah, I've married those two, and that's, again, part of the battle. But after that, it brings up other questions in their mind. And it's important to carry on that next level of scent for them, not just throw up a page and hope they find their answer.
So are you anticipating those questions then?
That's exactly what we're doing. We're literally laying out little bits of bait, right, so that they catch a sniff there, they catch a sniff there, they catch a sniff there.
So if the scent takes them to the landing page and you convince them that they're in the right place, now you give various possible scents there to take them the next path?
Correct. And again, if it's a very specific search, right, I'm looking for, model XZ1 Sony camcorder, right, I'm going to take them directly to that page because that's what it is, right? But if they're looking to, compare Sony camcorders, well, I'm going to have to give them a page with that and say, okay, well, what are the type of things that they may be looking to compare with? Is it battery life? Is it, right? And basically give them those links so they can go off and actually find that information easily.
For this to work, then you really have to understand the motivation of the types of people coming to your site, and then lay out links that are going to attract people that have particular interests that you can anticipate.
And it's a lot of work.
It is.
That's part of the problem.
What's the result, the good result, if you can get there?
Well, I was asked the other day if someone said, look, if we have X amount of traffic and we show so many of them, let's say a banner offer or something like that, we'll get so many people to click on that, and then once we show an offer to conversion, maybe we'll get 1%. I had to write back to them and said, yeah, that's maybe typical of the rest of the industry. Clients we're working with are getting 10 and 12% from that point. Yeah. It's because you're thinking about things so differently and so much more rigorously that you can do that.
So though it's a lot of work, the payback is huge.
Huge.
To compare the revenue coming in from a 1% conversion rate to a 10% conversion rate.
Or even 2% conversion. That's doubling sales.
It pays even for your time.
Absolutely. Well, I've always said this. The cost of optimization should be nothing, because what you get in returns should cost you nothing that you invest in actually getting it done. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bryan, for talking about this scent idea and cutting your bounce rate. Tell us about your business and what you do.
So Future Now helps companies improve their conversion rates, and we do it through landing page optimization, or by helping them plan out who their customers are through personas, all the way to planning out the scent and their whole experience through either just the website or even multi-channel.
And you've written books.
I've written 2 best-selling books, New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestsellers, Call to Action and Waiting for Your Cat to Bark, which talks a lot more about scent.
You have a blog?
I have a blog called grok.com. That's grokdotcom.com. Not the easiest one to spell, but it works.
I read it.
I much appreciate it. And it's a very popular blog, and we talk a lot about this and give a lot of examples of this kind of stuff.
Well, thank you much. This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.